Today, I'm going to be taking you on a journey through what is regarded as one of the most haunted places in the city of El Paso, Texas. That, of course, being El Paso High School. El Paso High School is one of the oldest buildings still standing in El Paso, Texas, so it comes as no surprise that this high school would be as haunted as people say. The school was built in 1916 by the architectural firm of Trost & Trost and was designed as a classic revival building with features that are reminiscent of the Greco-Roman era. The main component of the building is made up of rectangular block wings that connect from an L at a 45-degree angle. Each of the two wings are 300 feet long in length. The porch of the building, however, is actually very symbolic. Because the architectural firm wanted to convey the origins of drama and athletics in the Western world, the porch is made to overlook the stadium. El Paso High School's haunted history has always been the talk of the town throughout El Paso, Texas, with stories of a student who took her life by jumping from the top balcony of the school to reports of a pep rally being heard from the football field during late hours of the night. The school is listed as the number 4 most haunted place in El Paso, Texas, next to La Hacienda restaurant, McGoffin Homestead, and the De Soto Hotel. With all of these haunted locales within El Paso, Texas, the city is absolutely no stranger to paranormal phenomenon. But within the halls of El Paso High School are the restless spirits of deceased students and faculty. Some early reports of deaths within the school come from an early copy of the El Paso Herald-Post, the main local newspaper of the area. The publication was printed on October 7, 1935, and states that 3 deaths have occurred within the school in the last year. It is stated that a former custodian died of a heart attack, a student dropped dead in the gymnasium, and a month prior, a janitor had fallen dead of indigestion. These deaths are some of the oldest reported deaths within the school. With this in mind, it is a bit unnerving to think that students and faculty of the school in this day and age may walk among the dead. With me today, here to speak about their personal opinion on the matter of El Paso High's history, I have
Linda Troncoso. Okay, I'm an alumnus, so I am a former student, a parent. Both of my kids came here, and I've been very involved with the Alumni Association since its inception in the mid-'80s. So there's a lot of things we can tell you about El Paso High. It's a special situation, it's a special school. But did you know that it opened in 1916, and by 1917 the Mexican or Spanish flu was going across the country as it killed 50,000 Americans. It also did the same thing at Fort Bliss. There were so many bodies, there wasn't enough storage. And so they finally agreed that the best place would be to store it in the sub-basement of the building because it was all dirt, basically like you see at Carlsbad Caverns. And so the bodies, for the next 18 months, they'd take bodies out when the morgue had room, and they'd continue to do so. The bodies were already wrapped and tagged, so there wasn't any complications there. But the basement was cool enough to keep them in a controlled environment. So that was cool. And then remember, too, that this school was the location of the first 3 Sun Bowls because UTEP didn't have a stadium big enough. Yet again, that was important. Did you know, and I can show you a sign that shows that during World War II, this building was considered a bomb shelter. And that's because we had tunnels and because we had a basement that we could put people in. Well, when you tell this to the students who are attending now, they get a little icky, and then you start talking and explaining that this is the first school ever built here. El Paso High is a part of the city. It is not just named for the city. And so because of that, every time that the city or the community has needed something, El Paso High is ready to step up and offer its help. We've been a part of the community for over 100 years, and we'll continue to do so. I can tell you stories that go all the way back to the inception of the school. Some of them are funny, some of them aren't, some of them are a little scary, but most of them are all part of the character of the building. Yes, have I heard strange sounds? Yes, have I seen strange Of course, it's a 100-year-old building. But like I tell the kids, there's no danger from our ghosts as long as you don't hurt the building.
Now imagine you are graduating high school and taking part in the class photo, ready to take that next step into adulthood. At first, everything seems normal, but upon further inspection of the photo, you notice something peculiar. That being a ghostly figure of a girl whom you don't remember even taking part in the photo. That was the case of the class photo of the 1986 graduating class of El Paso High School. Most interesting, however, is that the ghost girl was not in the original negative, but later appeared when the photo was fully developed. The infamous photograph has gained major traction within the community of El Paso. This is not the only photograph that seems to have captured a spirit lingering within El Paso High School, though. One other photograph depicts a ghostly figure of a woman standing on the football field of El Paso High School. The woman in the photo also did not appear in the original negatives of the photo until it was fully developed as well. These photographs are sure to raise some eyebrows among even those who normally don't take interest within the paranormal. With me today, here to speak about their personal opinion on the matter of El Paso High's haunted history, I have
Daniel Lopez, born and raised in El Paso. Went to Austin High School from my freshman year to junior year. And I graduated in 2005 from Burgess High School.
As a resident of El Paso, Texas, you've no doubt heard the stories of El Paso High. What's your personal opinion on them?
Yes, I've heard about it being haunted because it's the oldest high school in El Paso. Do I believe it? I've personally never been there inside. I've been to the football stadium. I've heard people sneak in at night to try and see if it's haunted or not. And some people say it is. I don't believe personally in haunted places. I believe people are haunted. So if they see something, it's because they're carrying it.
Besides through photographs, paranormal activity within the school is also apparent through the underground tunnels of the school. These tunnels that extend underneath the school were said to have been used as a makeshift overflow morgue during World War II. The underground tunnels are infamous among the El Paso community, with some regarding them as a myth. But in an interview conducted for the writing of Spirits of the Border, The History and Mystery of El Paso del Norte, Tobias Tovi Tovar, may he rest in peace, a former math teacher of El Paso High School, who unfortunately passed away in 2010, shed some light on the tunnels underneath the school and discussed them in detail, along with a particular experience of his own, of his time in the tunnels. Tovar stated that an extensive system of tunnels runs beneath El Paso High, though many of these tunnels are now blocked off as a result of the work done in the mid-1980s to install central air conditioning within the school. Tovar also mentions how there are at least 2 underground classrooms that had been sealed off. Tovar went on to discuss the time in 1987 when it had snowed and teachers and students who made it to the school were unable to leave due to unsafe road conditions. With the school day being canceled within the mid-morning and having nothing else to do, the principal and a few of the students, along with several of the teachers, including Tovar, all ventured on an exploration of the school, beginning with the tunnels in the basement of the school. Being that the building was so old, they most likely all saw it as a fun yet interesting thing to do. Tovar goes on to say that their exploration of the tunnels was back when the central air conditioning system had not been installed yet, and the basement area was still a maze of tunnels that seemed to go on forever. At one point during their exploration, several of the teachers had come across a small opening in the wall and crawled through it to find a brick wall blocking the tunnel. The wall consisted of crumbling old bricks and new bricks that had been placed after the surrounding brickwork. Noticing this, one of the teachers pushed some of the newer bricks until they gave way, revealing a large dark opening. After shining a flashlight, the large opening was discovered to be a sealed-off classroom. The room was small and contained antique desks, but what was puzzling about this discovery was the fact that the classroom was still set up with desks, textbooks, and student notebooks lying open as if waiting for students to return. Tovar states that the classrooms were very old and had been sealed up for a long time, even dating back to when the school was originally built. This was apparent because Tovar noticed Baby Ruth candy wrappers on the floor along with 5-cent Coke bottles, which were from a time when both sold for 5 cents. Adding to that, another sealed-off classroom was discovered within the underground tunnels in the same condition as the first one, appearing as if it too was waiting for students to return. Tovar admits that neither he nor anyone else among the group of explorers could ever discover why 2 classrooms would need to be sealed off so fast that no time would be provided to clear out the rooms of their desks and books, and how the students were not even allowed to retrieve their own personal belongings. This is made even more puzzling as with the school facing overcrowding problems at the time and space at a premium, these classrooms would have greatly benefited the school. Here today with me for an interview I have
Sylvia Campos Bach. I graduated from El Paso High in 1976, bicentennial. I went there for 5 years. I know the 4th floor was known for a lot of creepy, spooky stuff. I worked in the committee that we used to do like flyers and whatnot for the football players, and in the it's not the first floor, maybe the basement area, we used to hear things. We used to think it was the building settling, but I don't think it was. But there were stories about the fourth floor, the girl that jumped out of the fourth floor. I think it was like maybe the spring fiesta or homecoming. Her boyfriend broke up with her and she jumped from the fourth floor.
Officials of the El Paso Independent School District were asked about the mysteriously sealed off classrooms, but none of them had any information or admitted to even knowing the classrooms existed. Could paranormal phenomenon be the reason for these classrooms to have been sealed off so fast? To this day, the sealed off classrooms remain a mystery, and we may never know what truly goes on within El Paso High School. I'm Christian Rodriguez, and this has been Hauntings of El Paso High.